Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Norco College STEM Pathways Info Session. My name is Brittnee Quintanar, and I am the STEM counselor at Norco College. Let's get started. Today, we're going to cover several items, including reasons why it's a good option to start at Norco College versus a four-year university. We're going to talk specifically about the different STEM pathways and degrees we offer at Norco College. We're also going to be highlighting a brand new guaranteed transfer pathway that we have for transfer to UC Riverside Bourne's College of Engineering. And then we're going to end by covering some of the first steps you would need to take if you decide to become a Norco Mustang. First of all, why should you attend a community college versus going straight from high school to a four-year university? I think the most common reason that students choose to start at Norco College would be to save money. It's going to be a lot cheaper to attend Norco than a four-year university, and we have additional financial support, which I'll talk about in a little bit, where you may actually attend Norco entirely for free. Another benefit of starting at Norco College is that we do have smaller class sizes than you would find at larger four-year universities, which means you have more accessibility to your faculty and will find it easier to collaborate with your peers in your class. Additionally, we offer a robust offering of support services to support you throughout the way in a variety of areas, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And lastly, statistically speaking, if you apply to a four-year university straight from high school as a freshman versus applying to a four-year university as a transfer student, your chance of being accepted as a transfer student is much higher than as a first-time freshman. So a little bit about our Norco Promise program. This is open to first-time college students who enroll in at least 12 units in the fall term and 12 units in the spring term. You are not required to enroll in summer or winter classes to take advantage of this program. You will need to maintain a 2.0 GPA, and you must be a California resident or AB 540 eligible. The benefit of the Norco Promise program is that you will have your tuition covered, as well as all of the other student service fees and health fees that are included when you register. If you would like more information about the Norco College Promise and having your tuition and fees covered, please contact Luis Diaz, the outreach specialist for the program. His email is right here. Here's a sampling of many of our different centers on campus and specialized programs that provide extra support for students. I think the most popular service that students utilize on campus is our tutoring center. If you were to look for a tutor off campus, a private tutor, you would pay anywhere from $20 to $60 an hour for a tutoring session. And basically all of your tutoring services are included in the cost of attending Norco College, so it's absolutely free to you. The tutoring center is located on the first floor of the library. You can find a tutor for any subject that we offer, even science courses, foreign language, any math that we have. Also have a writing center, so if you're writing a term paper for a class and you want someone to look it over for you, you can take it to the writing center. Some other benefits of attending Norco College or programs that we offer are we have an honors program. Phoenix Scholars Program is specifically for former foster youth. Puente program supports Hispanic students in a cohort model, as well as our Emoja program supports Black and African American students or anyone else who wants to join in a cohort model. We also have a STEM center where we have a computer lab, we have 3D printers, we have tutoring on site at the STEM center, and usually that will be math and science subjects that you can find tutors in the STEM center. As well as myself, that's where you'll find the STEM counselor and the other team members. We also have a transfer center that helps put on events and workshops related to what you need to do in terms of transferring to a four-year university. The other great benefit with the Transfer Center is they are continually bringing four-year university reps on campus to meet with you one-on-one, saving you the hassle of having to go out to the universities to talk to them about their specific campuses. And we also have a Veterans Resource Center, as well as a Health Service Center, which offers basic medical care that you might find at an urgent care, as well as free mental health counseling for students. Now here is a slide outlining all of the STEM-related degrees and certificates that we offer. You can see that we have associate degrees in biology, chemistry, computer science, environmental science, kinesiology, mathematics, and physics. You'll also see we have a very large listing of STEM-related certificate offerings. The difference between a certificate and an associate's degree is that with a certificate, you are only taking a small number of classes in one specific area. For example, electrician. You will be taking electrician courses. You won't necessarily be taking general education classes, such as English or social and behavioral sciences or humanities courses. You can start with a certificate to get yourself out in the workforce sooner, but then what a lot of students will do is they'll come back and build on that certificate and take their general education classes and turn their certificate into an associate degree. Norco College has a long-standing history of supporting STEM education, and this is evident in the fact that we have sought out many STEM-related grant opportunities, and we have received several large STEM grants. One of the first big ones that we got was in 2011, and that was a Title III Hispanic Serving Institution grant. And with that, we started a program called the STEM Scholars, which ended in 2017. Then we got a second large federal Title III HSI grant. And with that one, it was focused more specifically on helping pre-engineering students. That grant is still in effect and will remain through September of 2021. Because that was a significantly large grant, we've been able to hire additional STEM staff to support our Norco STEM students. And even though that large grant is ending next year, we are still on the hunt for additional STEM funding, and we recently submitted an NSF grant that would provide nearly or more than $500,000 of money that we could in turn give back to the students for scholarships, specifically for STEM students. And there are other grants that we are also going after right now. Because we have received grant money continuously and we continuously go after it, we may offer additional STEM programs and services that you might not find at other local community colleges. Some of these things include, we often have STEM industry guest speakers come on campus, or if we are closed for COVID-19 reasons, we are still offering guest speakers virtually. We also have a lot of our Norco alumni that have gone on and transferred and graduated and gone through their first job interviews come back and share their wisdom with our Norco students. We also offer career and personal development workshops, as well as industry and university tours. We have a very strong relationship with JPL because one of our former alumni works there full-time. And up until COVID-19 closures, we were doing monthly tours at JPL. Other tours such as Intel, the Fender Factory Museum, Southern California Edison. We also visit universities such as USC, UCLA, and many other opportunities that arise. In addition, we have strong local partnerships with industry, and therefore we are able to highlight internship opportunities for our STEM students and guide you along the way in terms of what they are looking for on your resume or your essay to help you get selected for an internship. And similarly, the same thing with any STEM-related scholarships. Because of the extra grant funding, we do have a dedicated STEM counselor, which is myself, as well as a dedicated STEM success coach who also meets and assists students. And we also will provide you intense support surrounding what it will take for you to transfer for your desired major and make sure that you get into the university you're shooting for. Here's a sampling of some of the organizations our Norco College STEM students have had the pleasure of interning at. And it just another reminder that internships are a great opportunity for you to learn more about the field, the company, or the industry you're interning at, and learn more if it's a good fit for you. Sometimes it solidifies your choice, and sometimes you realize maybe this is not the route I want to go, which it's better to learn that earlier on than later. Also, throughout your internship, you're always creating networks of people that you can call on in the future if you're looking for a future job, or if you need a letter of recommendation when you're applying to transfer or grad school or for a job reference. So it's really important to put yourself out there and get involved in different internship and research opportunities. Some of these are paid and some of them are not, but either way, it's a good opportunity for you. Here's highlights of some of the universities that our Norco STEM students have transferred to, including USC, pretty much every UC campus, including UC Berkeley and UCLA. Cal Poly Pomona is a popular one for our students because of its proximity to Norco, and we have also had students get accepted into Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, as well as several of the other Cal State universities. Now, as a counselor, I like to be completely honest with you in terms of what it's like as a STEM major. Choosing to become a STEM major is not easy per se. In fact, it's very challenging. But all the effort and hard work you put in is definitely worth the reward on the end. STEM majors are going to have to take more challenging math and science courses. Therefore, you may have greater time commitments because your science courses not only require you to attend a lecture, but you have a separate lab time. And then the homework that is involved with that is usually a little bit more rigorous than a non-STEM course. Also, STEM majors are known to be high unit majors. And that is because you are taking so many math and science courses. So you may be carrying a higher unit load than a peer who is not a STEM major. And STEM is a popular area to go into in terms of transfer. So there are very specific requirements that you have to meet. And because it is competitive, you also need to maintain a very strong GPA. And then lastly, if you do decide to put yourself out there and participate in an internship or research opportunity, you will also have to learn how to juggle those responsibilities along with your school responsibilities. But I like to always say, stay STEM strong. So the acronym I created, STEM scholars are tenacious, resilient, open-minded, with natural grit. And I see that day in and day out with my Norco STEM students. And not to fear, even though being a STEM major can be challenging at times, we have a full dedicated staff to support you along the way. Starting on the left-hand side, we have Dr. Jason Parks. He is the Dean of the School of STEM at Norco College, as well as the Director of the Engineering Pathways Grant, which I mentioned earlier. Then we have Patricia Gill. She is our STEM Services Developer. She is the one who puts on all of our amazing STEM events on campus. She's also the one who has the relationship with local industry partners and helps students in the process of applying and obtaining internship and research opportunities. So you would definitely want to meet with her. Then in the middle, you have myself, Brittnee, the STEM counselor. Next to me, you have Azadeh Iglesias. She is our STEM student success coach, and she also meets with students one-on-one to help you stay on path with your goals and help you with any roadblocks that may occur. Then we have Casey Boyer. She is our outreach specialist, and you may have already seen her because she does a lot of high school visits. So shout out to Casey. And then on the far right, we have Susie Shepler. She's our grants administrative specialist, and she's the one who basically keeps all of us and the STEM Center moving forward. So how can Azadeh and I help you? More specifically, you can meet with us. First and foremost, most importantly as a college student, is to meet with us if you are struggling with time management. Some of these things that you will need to develop to be successful in college, you may not have mastered in high school. So we are here to help you strategize and master some of these things. And time management is the most important thing to learn how to do in college because you are going to be juggling a lot of different responsibilities. We can also help you on setting academic end goals, and that's important to move forward and tie them to your scheduling. Also, if you're experiencing stress and anxiety because you feel like you have too much on your plate, we can review some strategies to deal with that. Time management is also important in the biggest thing, which is reducing procrastination. Procrastination just does not work well in college. Also, we can help you learn your personal learning styles and strengths and apply that so that you can be more effective in the way that you study, because we all learn material in different ways, and it's important to know how you learn personally so you can be more effective in your study habits. We can also develop a more efficient term-by-term plan, looking at your strengths and areas for growth so that you are receiving the highest grades possible and therefore the highest GPA possible. We can help you look for and apply for scholarship opportunities, internship opportunities, research opportunities, and we will definitely be there to help you explore all of your transfer opportunities and major opportunities at those schools. At Norco College, we also have many student-run organizations and clubs, including student government and STEM Club, which I want to highlight. And actually, I believe our STEM Club is the largest club on campus. This is a short sampling of some of the activities that our STEM Club students were involved in for the fall of 2019. Two of them I would like to highlight are our NASA Suits project. Our students are working with NASA and will be competing. They were supposed to go in person to Texas, but I think that's going to be moved to an online competition. And then also we have a Norco College rocket project, and they were in the midst of building a rocket to go to New Mexico in June and compete in the national competition. And that project will still move forward next year as all the COVID-19 closures lift up. They also are involved in a lot of local community service activities on and off campus, promoting STEM majors to students young and old alike. And they're a very passionate club. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we talked about a lot of reasons why you can benefit from coming to Norco College. And now we're going to talk a little bit about engineering, because our new guaranteed transfer pathway focuses specifically on engineering majors. Engineering is derived from the Latin word ingenium and means cleverness and to contrive or devise. Engineers are people who create nifty and practical inventions, essentially. Engineering's been around for a long time. Some of the first inventions include the wedge, the lever, the wheel, and pulley. Engineering is a branch of science and technology concerned with the design, building, and use of engines, machines, and structures. There are many different specialties within engineering that you can go into, including mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, aerospace engineering, computer engineering, biomedical engineering, and there's still even more than that. When you look at the pictures on the left, you may ask, what does coffee have to do with engineering? Actually, people spend years and years practicing different roasting techniques in terms of creating the most rich, flavorful coffee. So that relates back to chemical engineering. Then in the middle, you see a picture of Disneyland's Splash Mountain. It takes mechanical engineers and electrical engineers to figure out how to create these elaborate amusement park rides. And then at the bottom, virtual reality and artificial intelligence are up and coming nowadays. And that's another field and industry that you can go into. So within the field of engineering or the major, you have many options to choose from. You have a variety of careers and industries you can go into. We recently partnered with UC Riverside's Bournes College of Engineering, and we created a guaranteed transfer pathway specifically for Norco students so that you can have a guaranteed spot at UC Riverside when it's time to transfer there. The engineering majors that are included in this guaranteed pathway are bioengineering, chemical engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, environmental engineering, materials science and engineering, and lastly, mechanical engineering. Now, UC Riverside's Bournes College of Engineering does offer a major in computer science as well as computer engineering. However, the computer science major is excluded from this guaranteed transfer pathway. So what do you need to do to be eligible, and what are some academic expectations for you to partake in this new guaranteed transfer pathway? First, you must be a first-time college student. If you had prior college coursework through high school, dual enrollment, that is okay. But if you've already graduated high school and attended a different college before starting with us, then unfortunately, you will not be able to apply. The second item is you do need to apply first to Norco College. We are part of the Riverside Community College District, which includes Riverside City College and Moreno Valley College. So when you fill out the Norco application, we do want to make sure that Norco is your home campus, because this guaranteed transfer pathway is only for Norco students, not RCC or Moreno Valley students. The third thing is, when you start at Norco, you must commit to maintain full-time enrollment, which for us is 30 or more semester units each academic year. So in our district, an academic year includes the fall term, then we have a 6-week winter intersession, then we have the spring term, and then another 6-week summer session. So as long as you can, between those 4 terms, take 30 units per year, you can be in the program. The fourth thing is, this is a guaranteed transfer pathway specifically for UC Riverside. This will not guarantee you acceptance to any other UC engineering school. And as a reminder, it will not guarantee you acceptance into UC Riverside's computer science program but it will for their computer engineering program. And then lastly, once you start college, you need to maintain a 3.0 cumulative UC GPA. It doesn't matter what your GPA was in high school. They will not even review those records. But the moment you start at college, your GPA starts counting again. And so you do need to do the best of your ability and maintain that GPA. Students who join this new guaranteed transfer pathway to the UC Riverside Bournes College of Engineering will also have the benefit of getting early registration group 3, which for the upcoming academic year, early registration group 3 for summer school will start on May 20th, and early registration for group 3 for fall term will start on July 8th. It is a huge benefit to have early registration status because that means you are registering nearly 3 weeks before the general registration opens up to everyone else. And a lot of times the higher level math and science courses can fill up pretty quickly. So it is important that you get the courses that you need to stay on track with your timeline. Because another part of this guaranteed pathway is you have to be able to finish the required courses within 2 to 3 years for your guarantee to hold true. For this first academic year, the 2021 school year, we will be accepting the first 100 applicants into the program. And if you do want to have that extra advantage of your early registration for fall 2020 classes, you must submit your application by July 1st. I also want to highlight that in the image you will see there are several other programs that you could partake in to also get an early registration date. So if you decide not to pursue STEM per se, or this specific pathway for UC Riverside, you may be interested in some of the other programs on campus, like if you were in athletics, if you got involved in the Associated Students of Norco College, or as a student trustee, you would get a higher registration date. Also, you could join Puente, Honors, Umoja, all of those groups get early registration group 3. And then the priority group number 1 would be if you are a veteran or a veteran dependent, if you are a former foster youth, if you qualify and decide to join EOPS or CARE or CalWORKS, or receive services from the Disability Resource Center, all of those programs provide you with Priority Group 1 registration, which actually would start on May 18 for summer school and July 6 for fall classes. So if you're interested in learning any more about any of those other programs, on a previous slide where I mentioned them, they were live links that go directly to the website. So if you say, okay, everything sounds great, I think I'm gonna have a great time becoming a Norco Mustang, I wanna be a STEM student and participate in this guaranteed transfer pathway to Riverside, why not? These are the steps that you need to follow to get started with that. And most of these you're gonna wanna complete before July 1st so that you can take advantage of that early registration. So step number 1, apply to Norco College. Step number 2, complete your 2021 FAFSA. And you can do that at www.fasfa.ed.gov. Make sure that you select Norco College so that we are sent your information. Step number 3, it will take 2 to 3 days from when you apply to Norco College for you to receive an email from us that has your Norco student email activation information as well as your login information for WebAdvisor. WebAdvisor is a student portal that we use at Norco, and you'll be using it often. After you activate your student email and log into WebAdvisor, for the first time, you can do step number 4, which is to complete the online orientation. This is a pre-recorded video that you need to go through, and we'll go into a little more depth of different programs and services on campus. Step number 5, after you've applied to Norco and you have a Norco assigned student ID number, then you can complete the Norco College UCR Bourne's Guaranteed Transfer Pathway application, which is on our STEM page. After you apply, you can expect a response usually within 5 to 10 business days of your acceptance into the program. At that point, we will encourage you to make an appointment with myself or another counselor on campus if our schedules don't align, so that we can actually meet with you and do your educational plan before you register. It's really important to do this before you register because we want to ensure that from the first term you're taking the right set of classes for your desired major and your desired school that you want to transfer to. During COVID-19 closures, all counseling appointments, whether it's a STEM counseling appointment or a general counseling appointment, are going to be held online, so you can still access us even if campus is closed. And then after doing that, the next thing is to register for classes. At the bottom, I have included a YouTube tutorial link that walks you through the steps for step number 1, which is applying to Norco College in case you get stuck in that process. It's a pretty intuitive application, but just in case, you can use the tutorial video at the bottom to guide you through that. After you go through some of those first steps, some other things that you need to do, when possible, is if you had any AP exams in high school and you got a score of 3 or higher, please order those scores from your College Board account and have them sent to Norco. I would suggest not ordering them until all of your scores have posted. I know as a senior, sometimes your final AP scores from senior year don't post until July, so just go ahead and wait until everything is posted, so you only have to request it once. Also, we're going to need an official copy of your high school transcript, but we don't want that until all of your final senior grades have posted. It must be in a sealed envelope for it to be considered official. Or if your high school does official electronic transcripts, our school will accept that as well. The next item that you will want to order, if you've attended dual enrollment courses through any other community college, if it was from Riverside City College or Moreno Valley College dual enrollment, we don't need a copy of that because we can see those. But if by chance you did dual enrollment through another community college, we would want to see copies of that. Or if you have attended another college after graduating high school, we want to see copies of your outside college coursework. And then the next suggestion is really looking through our website and some of those other special programs I mentioned to see if there are any that you want to join, because some of them do have limited space and usually some type of paperwork involved. So if you really want to join one of those programs, you want to apply sooner rather than later. So after you take those first steps and apply and meet with a counselor to do your first ed plan, some of the things that the counselor will talk to you about in your session are a little bit about how high school and college are structured differently. As a high school student, you pretty much had to go to school Monday through Friday, about 35 hours a week. There's a set time frame. You didn't really have a choice. As a college student, you have freedom of choice. You could just attend night classes if you wanted to, work in the day. You could just come to school 2 days a week if that's what you want. You could do all of your classes online if you prefer online learning. However, with that freedom of choice also comes a responsibility to understand what you're getting into. So when you're looking at college courses, a 1 unit or 1 credit equates to 1 hour of lecture per week. Most courses at Norco are 3 units, 4 units, and some are 5 units. So if you enroll in a 5-unit chemistry class, that means between your lecture and your lab time, you are in that class for 5 hours a week. Now, we said that full-time standing would be at least 30 units per year, which will vary a little bit depending on if you utilize summer and winter sessions. But let's say you do decide to take 12 units, that's 12 hours a week sitting in class, but then you need to account for the expectation of homework and studying outside of class. And it is expected that as college students, you will spend 2 to 3 hours per unit studying. So if you're taking 12 units of coursework, you need to add on another 24 to 36 hours into that equation just to study, do homework, and prepare for your exams. So you could quickly see how 12 units does add up to being the same amount of hours you spent per week in high school. So you really just need to be careful and understand your personal situation. You know, take into consideration if you're working and how many hours you're working, if you have other family obligations such as picking up siblings from school, anything else in your personal life that you have to attend to and takes time out of your day. You need to be honest with yourself about that, so you're not taking on too many units that you can realistically handle to be successful in. Because remember, as a STEM student, you do need to maintain a very high GPA. Basically, you want to shoot for all A's and B's to be competitive for transfer. So there are some recommendations. If you are working full-time, which is 40 or more hours a week, we would hope that you do not enroll in more than 2 classes. Now, we know that to be in this guaranteed transfer pathway for UCR, you do need to take 30 units per year. So we can talk more about that one-on-one if you are working full-time and see how we can make that work. If you're working about 30 hours a week, you could handle probably a 3rd class. Just really depends on the class, honestly. If you're working 20 hours a week, so about half time, you should be able to handle taking 12 units of courses, which would be 3 to 4 classes. And then if you're working less than 20 hours a week, you should be able to handle a full load of classes, unless you have a lot of extra family obligations that you're responsible for. So here is my suggestion for what you would take in the fall term as your first term. I would have you start and get English 1A, English composition, out of the way. Our English classes have a writing lab that you need to also put in your WebAdvisor or EduNav shopping cart when you register, or it won't let you. That's a 0-unit writing lab that goes with the English class. Then the next thing is math. As a STEM major, you are going to go to very high levels of math. At a bare minimum, you're going to go to Calculus 2, but most STEM majors are going to go far past that before they transfer out. So your math class will depend on your placement scores, and you answered some questions about your high school classes in your application, or you will, and that is used to determine your placement. So most likely you will be placed into Math 36, which is trigonometry, or Math 10, which is pre-calculus, or Math 1A, which is calculus. If you had any like AP calculus, then you may even start higher than Math 1A, but it's really important that if you had any AP exams that you meet with a counselor first to discuss how your AP affects college credit. Some colleges can use it for you to bypass an entire class, sometimes even 2. But the problem comes in when we look at what 4-year universities you want to transfer to, because not every university accepts AP credit the same way. So it's important that if you have AP credit, you talk to a counselor before you register for your first term. The next course I would suggest for STEM majors, no matter if you're a bio major or an engineering major, you're going to need chemistry. So Chemistry 2A is our introductory course, and it's actually the prerequisite for Chemistry 1A, General Chemistry 1. If you had AP Chemistry in high school, you're most likely going to skip our Chemistry 2A and go straight into Chemistry 1A. But if you didn't take chemistry in high school, then you'll probably be starting at Chemistry 2A. Then the last course I would suggest taking, if you are following this UC Riverside Guaranteed Transfer Pathway for engineering specifically, then you should probably take Engineering 10, which is Intro to Engineering. And if you're a STEM major, but not an engineering major per se, then I would suggest Guidance 47, which is more broad-based and not solely focused on engineering fields. So when you add up all of those classes, that's 4 core classes that you're finishing in your first term. You're going to be taking 15 to 16 units. If you want to see the full listing of courses that we offer and their descriptions, you can do that through our college catalog, and I have the link for that below. So this is just a quick screenshot of what it will look like when you do get into WebAdvisor, the student portal I was mentioning earlier. So on the far right bottom side, under academic planning, you see that arrow I have that points to where you will locate the online orientation, which I mentioned, I believe is step 4 in your first steps. Then on the left-hand side, under the registration menu, there's a link to check what your registration date is, because again, registration dates vary for each person. And right below that is where you can register and drop classes. Then I also want to highlight our STEM Pathways website. A few things I want to point out. First at the top, no matter what website you're on for Norco College, you're going to see a maroon or burgundy menu bar. And those items up there are shown no matter what page you're on. So on the far right, you're going to see the apply button. So that's the button you would start with to apply to Norco College. And it's completely online and it's free. There's no charge. Then also at the top, 2 over is the button to access WebAdvisor, the student portal that I just showed you. And again, you will get an email 2 to 3 days after you apply, giving you your login information to access WebAdvisor as well as your student email account. Make sure when you're conducting any business for Norco, whether you're emailing admissions and records, or you're making an appointment with a counselor, or you're reaching out to a professor, you should be doing that through your Norco College email. A lot of times, if you're not, it will go to our junk mail and we won't see it. So you need to make sure you're communicating to us from your student email. Our STEM Pathways page, this is our front page. It's really easy to get to. You would just go to www.norcocollege.com/STEM Pathways. This is what you will see when you come to our main page. I want to show you, we do have a very large menu bar here because we have several pages that you can browse through. You can look at some of our internship and research opportunities, as well as STEM scholarship opportunities. But at the very bottom, you will see the UCR Borns Transfer Pathway. If you click on that, that will take you to the page that provides the information in this webinar, and also the link to apply to the program. That's where you will find it, is on that page. Also, I want to highlight this big blue button in the middle of the STEM Pathways page. This is where you would go to schedule a STEM counseling appointment with myself or a appointment with Azadeh, the success coach. You would just click on that blue button. It also gives you the ability to go in and change an appointment. If something comes up and you need to change your time or date, you have access to do that as well. So there's no reason you don't have to email or call us to make an appointment. Just go directly online, click that button, and you have the ability to schedule your own appointments. This is what will appear once you click that blue button. So step number 1, that's the first screen that will appear. You need to enter your Norco student ID and your birth date and click continue. Step number 2, that's the screen that will appear next. You will click on the button that says make appointment. If you already have an appointment made, that button that's grayed out right now says view or cancel. That's where you would go to change or cancel an appointment that you've already scheduled. Step number 3, that's the third screen that will come up. And this screen, I think, can be a little confusing. It says, please click on academic advising as your reason code. There's only one code in there. So you just have to click on that one and press continue after you click on academic advising. And then that will take you to the fourth screen where it will outline the day of the week, the start time and the end time in terms of what times work best for you. So please do not schedule an appointment if you know that you have to be at work at a certain time or you're in class at a certain time. Only schedule appointments when you know you're available to meet. That way those appointment slots are not wasted for other students who may need them. So you could just do a search all to see everything that's open, or if you know you can only meet on Monday, you could just click on Monday and see which appointments are available on a Monday. On the far right, it says counselor name. That's where you can select, if you want, whether you want to see Azadeh or myself. But if you leave that blank, I believe it will still give you a full listing of open appointments if you don't have a preference. Right now, STEM appointments are 45 minutes long. So you can expect your appointment not to be longer than 45 minutes unless there's special circumstances. And then if you just have a quick question, your appointment may be less than 45 minutes. But just so you know for yourself, you want to make sure you block off at least 45 minutes for your appointment. That's it for today's presentation. So there are lots of ways to stay connected with Norco STEM pathways. On the far right-hand side, again, we have all of the pathway staff listed with our email addresses. On the left-hand side, we do have a dedicated STEM Google Voice number that you can call or text. So if you prefer text, you can reach out to us at 951-291-8588. Our main web page is www.norcocollege.edu/STEM pathways. We have a Norco STEM Club Discord page, which you can access a Norco STEM Club on Facebook and Norco STEM Club on Instagram. The Norco College Rocketry Club has a separate Instagram page, as well as the Norco NASA Suits project has a separate Instagram page. And we have a separate Norco STEM on Facebook page. So if you want to see what our STEM students have been involved in the last year or so, hop onto any one of those social media sites and see what we've been up to. Also, the college itself has its own Norco College page for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You will find lots of important updates on those social media sites pertaining to the entire college, not just STEM specific. This recording will be added to our STEM Pathways page, as well as an accompanying PDF document that will have live links for every single website I mentioned, if you access the PDF document, you can click on any of the links that you wish to go to, and they will be live. Again, thank you for joining us and watching this info session. I hope you're staying safe and healthy during these quarantine times. We look forward to meeting you in person one day soon, and we hope that you consider Norco College as an option for your first step for your STEM pathway. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to us via email or call or text 951-291-8588. Thank you so much. Stay STEM strong.